What is up, guys? It is Marcus from Perspective Sports, and today we have the Miami Heat offseason outlook, where we'll take a look at what the Heat should do with their offseason to better position themselves not only for the upcoming season, but years into the future. The Miami Heat have just received some rather depressing news, and the news was that power forward Chris Bosh's NBA career is over due to an illness that causes him to have blood clots, and the doctors say it will be unsafe for him ever to play in the NBA again. My prayers are with him and his family, and I wish him the best in his future endeavors. It is definitely tragic news, and I do think Chris Bosh's name will make it to the Hall of Fame, as he averaged 19 points, 9 rebounds, and 2 assists for his career, as well as being a 2-time NBA champion. He was the 4th overall pick by the Toronto Raptors back in 2003, and was a huge part of that Miami success during the dynasty with LeBron James and Dwayne Wade. As a result of the doctors not clearing him to play, Miami has now cleared $25.3 million off the books for the 2017-2018 NBA season and $26.8 million for the 2018-2019 season. In total, that's $50.3 million over the next 2 seasons. So the Miami Heat won't have to pay Chris Bosh that money, but it's likely covered by insurance. So it's a win-win for both parties in terms of financials. And without further ado, let's dive right into the first topic of the offseason, and that is the draft. Even though the Miami Heat have just cleared Chris Bosh off the books and they have a lot more cap space than they intended to have, as far as I'm concerned, the NBA draft is the direction to go for the Miami Heat. The Heat currently hold the 14th and 38th overall picks, and even in this loaded draft class, the Heat must move up. The Miami Heat have a few needs, and they lie at shooting guard with Dion Waiters opting out of his contract. Small forward, I don't trust Justice Winslow. He's a good player, but I don't think he has the ceiling of a Jason Tatum, Josh Jackson, or Jonathan Isaac. And now at power forward, now that Chris Bosh has been forced into retirement. Now, as for next year, Miami Heat do not own their first-round pick, as it belongs to the Phoenix Suns. It is top 7 protected, but if I'm the GM, I always prepare as if I don't have that pick. But there's a variety of ways the Heat can trade up depending on who they want. And let's start with Markelle Fultz and Lonzo Ball. Let's take them off the table. The Heat have nothing the Celtics or Lakers want. As far as Philly, I see them taking Monk because they need shooters, and taking another forward with Ben Simmons wouldn't make very much sense, and Philly would set an asking price that Miami just simply cannot afford. And with that being said, I realistically see Miami becoming legit trade partners from the Kings down. But a team I really key in on is the Orlando Magic, who own the 6th overall pick. So the Heat will be moving up 8 spots to take Jonathan Isaac, who has ridiculous potential and a high ceiling, and in my opinion, will become a star and a franchise caliber player. And this deal would roughly look something like this. The Miami Heat received the 6th overall pick and center Steven Zimmerman. The Magic received the 14th overall pick, small forward Justice Winslow, and the 2019 Heat first-round pick that's top 5 protected between 2019 and 2020 and becomes completely unprotected in 2021. This deal works for both teams because the Heat get the 6th overall pick, Jonathan Isaac, who is a franchise player, and a young backup center. For the Magic, they get small forward Justice Winslow, who has shown both offensive and defensive potential, the 14th overall pick, who they could use to fill any void in their roster, and the Heat future first-round pick that will likely be in the lottery. This pick will keep the Miami Heat from overspending on players like Danilo Gallinari, Otto Porter, Jeff Green, and Tyreke Evans, and will allow them to spend their cap space somewhere else. And as for the 38th overall pick, the Miami Heat select shooting guard Antonio Blakeney out of LSU. As we all know, I'm very high on Antonio Blakeney, and I am convinced he will be the steal of the draft. Blakeney can shoot from anywhere on the floor. He can drive. He can play defense to go along with an amazing work ethic, and the man can just be special at the next level and become the next second-round steal. Which leads us into our next topic of free agency. And the first thing Miami Heat general manager Pat Riley should do is renounce all of the rights to the Heat's free agents except Dion Waiters. After doing so, the Heat will have an estimated $40.4 million in cap space. I had to calculate this because most sites haven't equated for the Bosh retirement yet. And the first thing to do is bring back Dion Waiters, who had an exciting season, hitting game winners, averaging 16 points a game, 4 assists to go along with 3 rebounds. Not an exhilarating stat line, but efficient as he shot 40% from beyond the arc this season. But I have a feeling the contract negotiations will get a bit messy because he'll obviously want more than he's worth, and other teams will be throwing big money at him despite him not being worth it. But I think the tough, realistic negotiation from Pat Riley will keep Waiters around, and Pat can promise him that he'll be the guy and the main attraction for at least one more season in Miami. So the Heat and Dion Waiters agreed to a 3-year, $40 million deal. A very fair deal because under the new salary cap, players like Solomon Hill are making $11+ million per year. So Dion Waiters is definitely worth $13+ million a year. After locking up Dion, the Heat now have $27.1 million to spend in free agency, and the Heat should definitely target players like Atlanta power forward Paul Millsap, Oklahoma City power forward Taj Gibson, Sacramento small forward Rudy Gay, Washington point guard Brandon Jennings, and some other fillers. But before the Heat sign any free agents, here comes the first trade of the video, and it's between the Miami Heat and the Los Angeles Clippers. The Heat receive a 2019 and 2020 Clippers second-round pick, and the Clippers receive shooting guard Wayne Ellington. This deal works for both teams because the Miami Heat cleared almost enough cap space for the big signing, as they now have $33.3 million in cap space, and the Clippers get a much-needed shooting guard because with the current team getting ready to implode with CP3, Blake Griffin, and JJ Redick being able to leave this offseason, the Clippers must begin to prepare for the worst. And soon after this trade, the Miami Heat and point guard Goran Dragic agreed to a pay cut / contract reconstruction, where Dragic will reduce his salary from $17 million this season to $13 million, and will move the $4 million to his 2018-2019 salary, bumping it from $18.1 million to $22.1 million. Basically just moving the $4 million from this year to the next. Now the Heat have $37.3 million in cap space that they officially used to sign power forward Paul Millsap to the max contract that will pay him $142.8 million over 4 years, or just a little bit over that. And this will be the perfect pairing next to current center Hassan Whiteside, who mans the paint a large majority of the time and allows the Heat to continue to stretch the floor with a quality shooter like Millsap, leaving the Heat with $2.1 million in cap space. But let's take a quick look at their current roster. As you can see, Goran Dragic and Tyler Johnson at the point, Dion Waiters, Antonio Blakeney, Josh Richardson, and Rodney McGruder at the 2, Jonathan Isaac and Arako White at small forward, Paul Millsap, Josh McRoberts, and Willie Reed at power forward, and Hassan Whiteside and Steven Zimmerman at center. But the Heat aren't done yet. They still have a few more moves left to make, and this brings in the second trade of the video, and it's a 3-way trade between the Miami Heat, Los Angeles Lakers, and Philadelphia 76ers. And here's what it looks like. The Heat receive a 2018 Lakers second-round pick and Rashawn Holmes. The Lakers receive power forward Josh McRoberts. The Sixers will receive a 2019 and 2020 Clippers second-round via Miami. This deal works for every team because the Heat clear cap space. The Lakers get a shooter to pair with Lonzo, who they're slated to take, and the Sixers get more draft picks and kind of clear up the logjam they have at big. After this move, the Heat have $8.3 million in cap space that they use to officially re-sign James Johnson to a 3-year, $24 million deal with a team option for the third year. Remember, since the Heat renounced the rights to everyone, they don't own bird rights, so they had to use cap space to bring him back. And the finishing touch was the Miami Heat releasing Rodney McGruder to create more opportunities for Antonio Blakeney and Josh Richardson to develop. And after all those moves, here's the Miami Heat's roster on opening day. The asterisk indicates rookie and the bold indicates starter. At point guard, you have Goran Dragic and Tyler Johnson. At the shooting guard, you have Dion Waiters, Antonio Blakeney, and Josh Richardson. At the small forward, you have Jonathan Isaac, James Johnson, and Arako White. At power forward, you have Paul Millsap, Rashawn Holmes, and Willie Reed. And at center, you have Hassan Whiteside and Steven Zimmerman. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I did enjoy making it. Please leave a like and subscribe if you did. I look forward to hearing debates in the comment section of what you think the Miami Heat should do with this offseason, and I'll see you next time.